Welcome back to some more Let's Play action. We left off, we had just arrived in this town, Coromat. We've got a skeleton who's really risking his ass by hanging out around here. But he points to a haunted house, which is, near here. And we're going to have some adventures there later. But for now, we're going to just take a little tour of the town. This guy's not happy with the size of his home, but, just be glad you have a home, okay? Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna see what this guy's got. Oh, dude, no. That's really expensive. If I was playing the regular game, not leveled up, that might be worth it, but no, it's not, no. A priest who's an asshole, imagine that. Alright, so we got... Yes, a lot of people mentioning that haunted house, sort of unsubtle cue. Right. Okay. There's another. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting that I felt the need to balance out the jerk priest with a nice priest. I suppose that's throwing a bone to my wife and my girlfriend at the time, who is a pastor at a congregational church, and they're very nice. None of that fire and brimstone shit. Anyway, Arius is going up here, and he has a very bad premonition or a memory coming back suddenly, something like that. It's not quite clear. Just a very bad feeling, That's the Star Wars thing. I got a bad feeling about this. So we're gonna go into the inn and actually pick a room for once. We're not staying with somebody. We gotta put down some money. And he really rakes us over the coals. $2,500, man. Can you imagine paying $2,500 for a room anywhere? Alright, so he's, relaxing, I guess, or trying to relax. And this is going to give us a chance to focus on some of the other party members for a while. Galdar in particular. He's going to, kind of go out on his own for a bit, which he says momentarily. Yeah, and Nova's going to watch him, and Turnus is going to hang around. And, okay, yeah, Terrence was going to read a book. I don't know. I wonder if he's going to read Encyclopedia of Swearing. Alright, let's go down here. And Galdar's going to have a little visitor once we get outside the place. It's Mina. And she's, coming to, deliver a message from Seth. He wants to meet. And let's see what Seth wants. And for now, Mina's going to join the party, and we get to use her for a bit. Yeah, there she is. Got some good stuff. Well, I guess she can't use a shield. No, that stuff's as good as what she has, actually. Yeah. Actually, well, that necklace is really good. It prevents all status ailments. So I guess we'll keep wearing it, even though I'm tempted to just take it off and keep it for one of my main party members, but I won't do that. Alright, so here's the pub. A little place out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, galleons. That's the risk, when you're a non-human and you're walking around a place that's under their control. This could happen anywhere at any time. It's kind of scary. Just imagine if, you were, something like that happened here. You couldn't even step outside your door. Alright, so let's let Galdar chill and we'll use some Mina skills. Winds of Death. Yeah, see, if you remember from Master of the Wind, at some point in her life, she incorporated some dark magic, with her wind skills. She was able to kind of branch out like that. And so she's got that Winds of Death skill. It's really good. These guys are tough, especially the squad leader. He's taking a lot of damage, but that meteor's going to finish him off. Yep, goodbye. Oh, that's right. I got a whole bunch of these, little buffs. I gotta... Yeah, I'll just give everything to Galdar. Why not? Let's make him strong and fast. Let's got some more people to chat with in this bar. Yeah, so I think this is probably the only place where you can really have any fun in this area. It's good. Alright, so we gotta talk to these weirdos over here. What's this lady say? Yeah, okay, Bill O'Reilly. It's not the first time I've made that joke in this game, and somehow I get the feeling it's not going to be the last. Yeah, keep waiting, buddy. Yeah, that is weird. And the guy's wearing like a, bondage mask. It makes it even weirder. Alright, so now we're sitting down with Mina, and I think this is a nice long conversation. And if you remember from Master of the Wind, that they eventually did sort of become a couple, even though it was, some difficulties might have come up because of the mixed race thing. But, they stuck it out. I mean, can't help who you care about. And actually, you also remember that Mina is distantly related to Saad. They're like second cousins or something like that, with different last names, so it's not obvious at first. She's spending, like most humble people, she's spending most of this time talking about other people rather than herself, just kind of giving Galdar the lowdown on the rest of Seth's group. Which I think I told these stories briefly in the chapter where we first met them. Oh no, it was the one where you fought them all, because I was trying to, entertain you while that fight went on and on and on. But she's telling the same stories about how Zala was almost drowned by people, and Alco lived in Gallia and had to leave. And then eventually she's going to talk about her time in Harrow, which was explored pretty well in the short story that I wrote. It was just this writing contest on one of the RPG making forums that I frequent, and I figured, had some downtime and decided to see what I could put together. And it was about, 14, 15 page story about the battles in Harrow before, Arius and the group get there, where she actually did defeat that necromancer Monicon as a human, and then he was resurrected as a lich, and of course that was how Arius and the others fought him. And she eventually left with Seth to, join his crusade against Gallia. And she's a very skilled wind mage, and Galdar is going to tell his story, which we all know very well, but is going to get recapped anyway, because I don't really believe in, taking out parts of conversations, even if they're redundant, because Mina doesn't know this, even though the player does. And I guess I feel like, all these conversations I kind of bent over backwards trying to make them realistic, even if that makes them drag on sometimes. Master of the Wind, that's definitely an issue. They just have these back and forth conversations, and I tried to have these rhythms that were, that were consistent with that. That could be convincing, I mean, yeah, it's a different setting, it's a different world, conventions are different, but, it's people are people. And now they're talking about Guardia. He says it's his biggest regret that he trusted the council. And, that's true. I mean, he struggles with that still. And now Mina's trying to lighten up the conversation a bit. What's your favorite color? What do you want to discuss now? My favorite color? Galdar says orange because it's fire magic. And I think Mina's answer is really kind of like dorky. Yeah, she says blue, which is fine. I mean, blue is my favorite color too, but she says something about it's about hope. It's about I don't know how she came up with that. And Galdar says it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's got something to do with the blue sky that's supposed to be hopeful or some shit. I don't know. Alright, so now Seth is here, and he's got a knack for just, appearing in rooms. He doesn't really go through the door. He just has that noisy thing, but nobody in the bar seems to give a shit. And now Seth walks across the table to his seat, I guess stepping over those candles. And so they're going to, they're going to make a proposal to Galdar here. And if you remember the last time we saw these guys, they were out in the desert, and Mina and Zala were checking out this big Gallian compound that's sort of blocking their way to the Elven kingdoms, which are to the south, and that's where you need to go through in order to get closer to Gallia. And it's in a very strategic location. You really can't get around it. I mean, if you had a ship, you could, but they don't have that. And so they're hoping to team up with Galdar's group, work together to sort of just bust their way through that base. And they're going to ask Galdar to present this option to the others and see what happens. But of course, as we know, and there's a lot of strong personalities in both of these groups, and when they get together, sparks fly. And that's just from Turnus. You can also have fire and water and all this other crap. Yeah, oh, that's cute. Alco, he says, "You're embarrassing us in front of Galdar." Like Galdar is a celebrity. Not yet. Later on. So they're about wrapping up here. And, Galdar's a little nervous. But, he walks into a haymaker from Seth here about, dredging up that council business. Oof. Maybe you and Turnus will decide you'd rather help the Galleons. That's quite a distortion of what happened, but you can understand why Seth's so pissed off about it. And Galdar is upset and kind of just leaves quietly. He's not the type to engage in a screaming match. That would be Turnus. But Mina kind of chases him out. Feels really bad. And but Galdar says, he's got to just, the way that shit went down in Guardia, he's got to just live with it. You can't change it, but they were at fault, and there's nothing much they can do. And so he's going to have to just carry that burden. And, but Mina, likes him a lot and doesn't want to see him sad, but she leaves. And now I suppose we'll bring this to an end, and we'll see what's going on with Arius next time. Peace.